Hi, this is Karen with Stamping. Put some liquid masking on a horse where the easels and the paints and all that are, and the paintbrushes. That's what's called Fine Line Resist Pen Refill, and it's great for masking. Last night I was watching YouTube, and the gal said, "You for best results, let it dry over that." So what I did is I stamped the horse in brown, and I went ahead and put the masking on it. I don't know if you could see it, but it's a little glossy. I guess not. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to make a horizon line. That's the best thing that you can do is make a horizon line when you're doing a backdrop for any type of card that you want to where you want a sky and a back and ground right there. What I do is I line up something straight, like maybe a ruler, or this here is a border for a card. So we're using that today. So I go down to where I want my horizon. And I draw a very, very light. You can't see it, but the line is there. It's right about there. Next, this is a mask. We are going. What I did is I have a circle punch, and I punched it out of paper. It doesn't matter what paper you use; it really doesn't. And then after I punched it, I put it on a piece of cardboard. I laid it down and I sprayed it with Loctite spray glue. We're not using water, so it will stick quite nicely. And this is what you get. That is going to be your moon. Actually, it's a little high. Yeah, we're going to make it a little lower. That's awfully high up for this picture. There we go. Moon's down a little further. That's approximately where I like my moons to be. Right like that. Next, I took these large sticky notes that you can get at the Dollar Tree. They don't stick well. Matter of fact, they don't stick that good at all. So what I did is I put them with the tops right here, and that's the sticky part. I laid it sticky part up, and I also spray glued it with the Loctite spray adhesive. Our horizon line, and we're going to rub it real good. And what's nice about the Loctite, when you spray it on your sticky note, and when you're done, it comes off without damaging your paper. Back on, and it will stay there. Also, with the painter's tape, I taped off a tiny, tiny border because I like real small borders. A lot of people, when they get done with their card top, they cut that border off. But me, I like leaving it there. So what we're going to do is we're going to blend it. We're going to blend our inks. The inks that we're using, Stampin' Up! Gray for trees, Memento Brown for trees, Classic Stampin' Pad Sweet Sugar Plum. It's retired, but it makes for a nice purple in the sky. We're using Tim Holtz Distress Ink Frayed Burlap. That makes for a really good ground. And we're going to use Tim Holtz Forest Moss Distress Ink. It too makes for a very good ground. Tim Holtz Distress Ink Shaded Lilac for the sky. And Distress Ink Stormy Sky for the sky. Because another thing that is we're going to make some teeny tiny little stars. So what we do is we get our spray bottle, we get our paintbrush. This paintbrush here See how fine it is? Designated brush. So to use your masking tape, I got this tip from Lindsay the Frugal Crafter. You wet your brush, and I don't have room for a bowl of water, so I'm spraying it with water. And this is the best thing. This one is great. I got it from the Dollar Tree. It is just a great mister. And then inside here, my little Hello Kitty garbage can, I have a bar of soap. You spray your brush with, I want it saturated, and you rub it in the soap. And the reason why you do that is so the masking will come off of your brush. This sticky note is another form of masking as well. Now, if you want to splatter, you take it on your finger and you tap it like so. And I'm not getting very good splatter. Oh, I got splatters. We're going to take a little more, a little heavier this time, and we're going to create some more splatters. Oh, this time we got lots of splatters. Oh, good job. Good, 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 good. And then I'm going to cap it because I am very clumsy. I knock things over quite well. And then, because there's not much on here and I don't have room for a bowl, I spray it with water. And I take my dry towel here and I just take it off. No problem at all. See, it's all off. The soap works. Thank you, Lindsay. Now, I wipe the splatters that got on the tape and the masking right off here. And we don't want them on the moon, so I'm going to rub it off the moon here. Now, it'll dry the little splatters quite quick. See, the little splatters are there, but you really can't see it because even though it's a light blue masking, once it's dried, very difficult to see. Very, very difficult. Now, we need a piece of paper to stamp off on. So that is why, because you don't want a whole lot of ink on your blending tool. This is a Tim Holtz ink blending tool, and it has its own little styrofoam, not styrofoam, but squishy thing. Right now I'm kind of tired, so I really don't remember what we're really calling it. Foam. It's a foam top. And it has Velcro, so it sticks quite well. Take your ink. You got quite a bit on there. Stamp off some of it. You don't want a whole lot. There we go. And then just gently tap, because it's starting to get into the ink. And you just want to be just a little bit of that purple hue into the sky. And you go right over the dots, of course, that you put down. And this is pretty much what you want it to look like. Like that. Kind of a halo. You remove it and you keep it because you may need it later on. If it dries, activate it with the tiny go again. Close this. And we get the next purple. Bit. It's more of a real pretty lilac kind of color. Stamp a little off. And with this, way you want it. I have a little bit of a spot here that somehow got all goofy. And then what I like to do after I do that is I like tapping a little darker up around the top a little bit and down at the corner. Take that off. And we have a spot that on the paper, I think it's because it's watercolor paper that doesn't seem to want to cover well. So you take a blender brush and your Tim Holtz ink, get it to where you have some on your tip, like so, and gently scrub it into that little area there. There. All gone. And then after you do that, you rub your blender brush on paper until the color's gone. And that way you can use again. See how nice that is? You can use it again on another color later. Now we're going to get into the blue. Now the blue is really fun. It's a real fun color. Change my pad again, my foam pad, and gently put some blue on. Like so. And then I like to bring it over in the corner up here. And sometimes I like my sky to be a little light, because sometimes I make my sky light on purpose. There we go. But we don't have our stars at the end. Now we take off our masking that covered the... And you could take off the masking for your moon, and you get a nice white moon. Just like so. Next, on the horizon line, what I enjoy doing is I enjoy putting trees down. However, I don't put my trees down until I have some of the ground down. So you take your horizon line. Oh, this one don't want to stick. Okie dokie. We will take our other one that I prepared. Put it over the horizon line. Once again, cover up your moon and your sky because you don't want your ground to get on there at all. You really don't want to do that. Okie dokie. There we go. And another thing this is good for is we're going to put a few hills in the bottom. So what we do for that is we go from the bottom, break it off like so. Now, don't forget, you've got masking fluid on your horse. So you can stamp and ink directly over your horse. It will not disturb it at all, whatsoever. So I want to put a little bit of a disturbance in the ground. So I take it and I put it upside down. Just like so. See? This part here, right here, is where you're going to ink. You want it a hair dark down here and a hair dark around your bumps. But you don't want to go above that. So you get your foam once again. Get your lighter green. which is your frayed burlap. Like so. I have a bad habit of missing. And I usually am. I'm quite clumsy with ink. I get it all over me. Okay, once again, you tap it off and you pounce in your ground. Once you got a little color in there from pouncing, turn your okay. Once you have a little color in like this from pouncing, like so, you want to go back and you want to gently swirl those edges up there. Because you want those edges a little harsh. Because those edges up there is what shows your definition. And then you come over to the bottom, on the bottom. But not too harsh. We need low on ink. You want to put a little more ink. Darken those areas up gradually to where you like it. You don't want to do it like all at one time, because if you don't like it, you can't remove any of the ink. So I just do it little at a time. And you just go right across that tape, right along there. A little darker. So I go right back over it. There we go. And what I like about watercolor paper, as you can tell, it is very smooth and it looks quite nice. Once again, you go dips and valleys. So take the piece that you tore this piece from, put it upside down, but bring it up a little ways and kind of tilt it a hair. This time we're going to put in the light little. Now, if you don't want to disturb what you've already done, put your masking. Well, you can't very well put your masking, but go close to it, but don't try to go over it. So pounce in lightly. If you pounce it in lightly, you can actually go over that real nice ridge that you made. But you don't want to swirl too close to it. Take your green, and if you do want to swirl a little bit, come kind of close. Go real slow and gently tap, gently swirl. Also, by doing this, you get a very different variation in your ground, which is really neat. There we go. Now, get some light in there and take another top. You don't want to mix in your colors. That doesn't quite work well. Cap your light color. Take your darker green Now this is where the really cool stuff comes in. I like just putting it on the top half of my pad, like so. Like so. The board. And I gently tap, I gently swirl just a little tiny bit. Just a little bit. Like I said, you don't want to go crazy because you can't remove ink. You can always add. After you get in the dark that you want, go in, grab your lighter green, and gently go blend it in real well. And then here's the look that you get from it, like so. Showing a lot of depth, a lot of depth. Now you take your other post-it note that you used in the beginning, and you kind of angle it back up however you want it. I don't do too much angling because I really enjoy, though. Like I said before, light. Sorry that this video is a little long today. When you do ink blending and masking, the video tends to be a little long. So I hope you can see what I'm doing. Once again, load your brush, tap it off, and tap it in. Tap your color. Come down here. Tap. Now, don't load your brush. Turn your board, palette, whatever, upside down. And once again, with the edge here, gently put in color like you did before, right above that real nice green we put in. Just get that right across. There we go. Now we got that. I enjoy putting some of this stuff. I like to keep it consistent, and I like to really fix up some of that color. Again, I just do the outer edge. Now you got that edge again. See that edge? There we go. Come. So this is what it looks like. Like this. Now we're going to put a green edge up there. Very lightly. This time I'm barely touching the paper with my pad. Barely touching it. You know, I like it dark up by the horse's legs up here. There we go. I go back. There's a few areas I want a little darker. Like right up in there. Maybe over there a little bit. And maybe right here. Right there. Now, like I said before, take your lighter green. And you go right on over that. You just blend all that in there. Really nice. There we go. And once again, we have hills and valleys. Like so. Rule of thumb, I like to go one more time and then I flatten. After this, I like to flatten out what I have until I get to the top. But because I like until I get to the top, but I do want down the one I like the best. Because it's a little higher, we have a little brown. A little brown is always in there. Just pull this one off. Take your Memento brown. It's a very good light brown. And you just put just a tiny bit on your pad, like so. Now put a nice light edge. Just pop it right on over. Just like so. There. After you do that, you want to take your darker color, because farther away, it's pretty dark. Pretty light farther away, I mean. Sorry. So you want to take your lighter pad. And you just want on there. Yeah. This is the lighter color. Tap it off. There we go. And go right on over that. Get that to blend in there quite well. There we go. Yeah, really get it to blend. What you're going to do up top here, you're going to stamp your trees. And you're going to stamp trees down below also. I like more of a line up top. This color. So I like it flatter as I go up. Tap in my green. Once it's tapped in the way I like it, I come up and put a little green on that horizon. Right up in there, just a little bit. You don't want a whole lot, just a bit. And you want to bring it down a little bit. Like so. And just bring her on down. And it's okay if you bring the light down, because we're going to kind of put our mask back on and we'll tap in a little dark green here and there. There we go. Got all that green right on there. Now we're going to restore this mask here. If it'll stick. No, it's not going to stick. We'll restore top. We're going to use the bottom. Hold it a little bit because it doesn't want to stick. Cap the lighter green. Get your darker green. Get it on there real good. Like so. Tap, tap, tap. Turn it around. And just kind of go over that mask a little bit. It doesn't get just enough to bring in a definition. There we go. Open green space. And we're going to do a little something with it here. We're going to take this dark green, like so, load up our brush. And we're going to go right underneath this. We're going to tap in a little dark in there. And when you see it, the lines there aren't going to be as harsh as at the bottom. I make them harsher at the bottom because it's more of a distance thing. And when we get our trees in, you'll see there's a big, big difference. Now you take your lighter green and go over it a little bit. Kind of mix that up real good. And go all over it. See? Just like so. Now, take that off. And so far, this is we're going to take this off of here. Gently pull the tape right off the edge. But we don't want to disturb our masking, our liquid masking yet. Because we've got to get the trees in. Okay, so gently pull it away. Like so. Once again. Like so. And then pull it from up here. Like so. Very, very carefully. And like, if anybody knows me, we all know that I like my stamping apparatus because, you know, I'm not a great stamper. And what we're going to do here is we're going to stamp the trees and the trees I chose, the back trees, these here. I got this stamp set off of a magazine. It was a Christmas edition last in 2017. So I bought it. We position our trees right on there. Like so. Put the top down, squish it. And I like my trees on the horizon line, dark, light and dark. So the first stamp is going to be in my gray. So I want to show some distance in my trees. So the first is the Stampin' Up! Smoky Slate. And Stampin' Up! Smoky. Like to wipe off around it. The stamp isn't raised a whole lot, so I just want to make sure that I don't get any unwanted marks. Put it back on, and you stamp it lightly. And then you get your background trees, just like this. Here is your background trees. Like so. Next, I clean it off. That I don't wanted marks. Now we got one. I don't want my trees to be darker than my horse. Because when that happens, I think it looks a little off character, a little odd. So if my horse is in brown, I like to stamp my trees in brown to go along with my horse. So I grabbed the Memento Brown. Like I said, it's a very good, it's not a real chocolate brown. It's kind of in the middle. Yes. Oops, I goofed. Good thing I didn't stamp it. I forgot to reposition the trees. Clean it off real good. Get all the ink off. Good thing I didn't do that. It would have been a big boo-boo. Take your trees. Reposition it down just a little bit. To the one side. Then ink it up with your brown. I take my baby wipe. Like I said, go around the edges. This stamp isn't raised real well. So I don't like any unwanted surprises. Put it back on, and I gently tap it on. This is what we get. Those gray trees faintly in the back on that one side. I like to clean my stamp. It's finished. Yeah, you don't need this one anymore. Next, I like to grab my 3D stamp. These are the trees. They're going to be right up close to the horse. If you take your paper off and you pull this off, put your paper back down, you can your woodblock stamps on it. Like so. Okay, you ink up your stamp real good. With this stamp, it's very important not to get anything around. If you do, you transfer it on paper, and that's no fun. I take my finger and I gently get in there and get that ink off of there. And double check the rest of the rubber real good. Okay, there's no other marks. I with wood block, you can't see through it, so it's hard to position, but I like to position mine a little low and right about there. Gently put it on. You can put your plate over it. That way you don't over stamp. Or you can pull your plate back off and make sure it's down there real good. Also, leave it on here for a few seconds and press and make sure that ink absorbs into your paper. And then gently remove it. Then when you're done, off of here so we could put the I think that the card is wonderful the way it is. The trees in the front and the trees in the back. Just like this. You then take, I like to use, well, where are my erasers? Well, I guess we're going to take our finger. Take your finger and gently rub up in the sky. You'll feel all that liquid masking. And before you, and then you take your finger and you gently rub it over the horse and remove all that masking. Sometimes if you put a little fart, rub off. Now, the masking's off the horse. And we get stars and like so. As you can see, your horse definitely looks stars. And then you got that beautiful horse right in front. If you want, you could take markers or whatever and darken up your horse, but I like him just the way he is. Now we get our card base out. And I chose blue. I think blue looks quite lovely with it. Like so. So we are going to go ahead and put our adhesive on our card. Swipe down the middle. I think it's out. Yes, it is. Okay. like I said, my seam facing you. I line up my card how I like it. And I adhere it. So far, that is what the card looks like. Now next, a happy birthday. So we're going to use the Pretty Kitty stamp set from Stampin' Up. I really like this stamp set. It's really, really fun to play with. And next week we're going to make a Pretty Kitty card. So we'll make 2. So it looks really, really nice. So we get out our stamp. Get on this. I'll get out a block. I always go overboard on my blocks. I don't know why. But we are going to put, hope your birthday is just like you. We're going to put it up here on top. Like so. Get that on that old block. This time we want our saying to really stand out. So we're going to use Memento Luxe. It is wonderful for mixed media. And it's wonderful for stamping over other inks, especially Stampin' Up! Ink. So, tap that on there. Oh, tap too much. I think we'll go to our Memento ink. It's putting too much ink on this. Maybe lighter, maybe it'll work out better. There we go. That looks absolutely wonderful. We'll just do it that way. And we gently put it. Whoops. It didn't. It's not dark enough. So we'll get out our Memento. Actually, no, it's dark enough. There we go. Much better. And if you misstamp on this, it's okay because it's so light, it's going to look like a shadow. Well, we're going to have to, well, it was a big boo-boo, so we're going to have to fix it. So no worries. Fixing it is quite simple. We get our Stampin' Up! Punch, which is in one of my drawers here. We're going to get our fancy little Stampin' Up! Punch here. Open it. Blue. I think blue would look pretty good. The old scrap bin. But we don't have blue handy, so we're going to use white. Put it in here like so. And stamp it out. Re-ink your stamp. Position it on your paper. There it goes. Now you have this pretty little thing here. Flip it over. Put some adhesive on it. We're going to use a little liquid adhesive for this. I hope. I think it needs a needle. Oh, is that good a needle as it? There we go. Just a little on the top. You want to put just a little adhesive. You don't want to drown it. Got a little adhesive in here. Mix it around with my finger. Put it right over that boo-boo. Just like so. There we go. Take your sentiment and put it back. It says, hope your birthday is just like you. And what we're going to put on the, and I'll make sure I don't boo-boo this up, mess this up. We're going to put wonderful in every way. Oops. The stamp fell off. And excuse me, that wasn't planned. Today is just one of those days, and because it's such a horribly long video, we're just going to do the one today. For some reason, it doesn't want to stay on my block. So we are going to cheat. We are going to place it like so. And we're just going to gently mash it in. Anytime you get a stamp set and your stamp does not want to stay on your block, which I'm going to have to do with these. You put it rubber side down on some cardboard. Cardboard's great because it won't stick to your stamp. Word side up, picture side up. You take your Loctite repositional adhesive, spray it over there, let it dry, and it'll stick to your block from now on. That's how we made our masks today. So, and this is what our card looks like today. Well, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for watching my long video on masks. Today we learned how to make a paper mask, and we also learned how to use liquid. Those are my new favorite. Experiment, have fun, happy stamping, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye.